Okay. Uh, hey, James, how you doing? I am just looking at your DMP Final Magazine, and I'm so glad that you got this in. I don't know if you got it in before I called or not, but the idea is why not, right? I mean, you have most of the work done, you might as well get it in at least to get some points for it. So that's where I'm at. Um, so awesome. So that's awesome. Let's do this. So I'm going to go through the cover and the contents page and the spread, and I'm just going to talk about some things that I'll tell you what. Let's first do this. You've got a really nice two-column grid going here on the first page. That's good. It's nice to separate things. You have this information and this information. It allows you to give yourself more usable area in the spread itself. So that's good that you're thinking about using grids in your layout design. Um, I think this is a pretty memorable masthead. I don't know if you need the holes in it. All those nasty that kind of distressed, beat up look, chiseled look. So that's something you have to really think about. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. Don't get me wrong, but let's go to contents page. Contents page. The thing that you have here that is good is that you definitely have some hierarchy. So in other words, I mean, I think this page is kind of chaotic, but nonetheless, you have that's going to be your feature story. And that's good that you're thinking that, okay, I have to make this somehow separate this from the rest in order to indicate that this is the feature story. And 9 times out of 10, scale works as well as anything. So good job there. Good job using scale here to interpret your hierarchy. Again, this is good. Now, you don't have a true two-column grid here, but if this would be the center line, right about, I guess, right about there or so, right? So you've got like this really wide column to the left-hand side of the center line and a really wide column to the right-hand side of the center line. And I think that's cool. I think that's a really neat way to set it up. Instead of using the whole grid line, you're still demarcating this area of real estate that you're able to use, but it's not what we call a conventional grid. And I think that's really good thinking. The type is set centered, and you never want to set body copy centered. Two things. Well, you know what? Here, let's go back to the cover. And now I want to change gears a little bit and tell you what not to do in typography. You never want to add strokes to your type. A stroke is a black, see that white outline around your letters, that black outline around your letters? You never want to do that in typography. If you can't see the type, perhaps consider changing the image, changing the layout, changing the composition, but don't try to stroke this type in black to make it more visible. Okay. Likewise, here you're stroking the type in red to make it visible. Again here, and again in your masthead. You want to stay away from center aligned anything. It's really difficult unless you're writing wedding invitations. Sorry about that. And what I was saying is you don't, you just don't use that kind of that stroke. Next thing is these little centered compositions. It's really difficult to center type unless you're doing invitations. Plain and simple. It's really difficult. It never works. It looks terrible. Try left align, right rag. It always, when in doubt, left align, right rag. Always works. Okay, over here. You want to get some sort of a horizontal grid going as well as a vertical grid. So you get these horizontal lines and you want to stick to them so that your type doesn't appear to be on these tilts, which adds this kind of chaotic flavor to the page. My suggestion here is to create another. Go ahead and use a grid here, and let's decide what needs to be shown in alignment in terms of how can we group things by aligning them while establishing this hierarchy based on size or some other difference. Hint, hint. Okay, again, stroked type. Again, centered alignment. Again, stroked type. All right, so you're falling into these things that you keep using over and over, and I think that's a mistake. I really do. Joseph. I think that's a mistake because as a typographer, you want to start expanding your horizon, start expanding your toolkit, so to speak, and let's stop depending on what we've been depending on thus far, and let's start looking at new ways to express ourselves typographically. All right, awesome job getting this work in. Good job climbing back into the class, and good job, awesome job, man. Thanks, Joseph.